Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Thoughts to Think About. I'm Efrain.
I'm Liz.
I'm Reid.
And we've got some thoughts for you to think about today. Thanks for joining us. Welcome back to the podcast. Thanks for listening. If you're a longtime listener, I just want to give you just a shout out. Thanks for sticking with us and hanging out with us week to week. Maybe you binge listen to the podcast or binge watch the podcast on YouTube. Whatever it is you do, thank you for doing it.
I also want to formally apologize for last episode. The chaos that ensued.
Loved
apologize, but also say you're welcome at the same time.
Yeah.
I'm not apologizing.
What a
It
ride.
had a certain quality to it that, I think some people
Sleepiness
enjoyed.
and
I have
hunger
no
and-
regret at all.
Yeah, I was so tired. That was a rough one.
Yeah,
but
same.
I'm still a little bit tired, dad life.
I'll say you're just
So,
going to be forever tired.
That's just the
'Cause
vibe.
you're-
That's just my vibe now. My vibe is tired.
My aura is sleepy.
Is that TikTok again?
No, it's
Reid.
literally not.
Oh, okay.
I mean, not everything
Basically
we speak is
anything-
in TikTok.
Every
Yeah.
word that comes out of Liz's mouth.
Basically, if you say something and I don't
that
know
is
what
not
it's
my
from,
whole personality.
Your personality is TikTok.
No, I refuse.
Well, it's too late. So
No.
let's look at the screen time.
are we gonna check screen time again? Because
No,
I
I
don't
don't
have my
wanna do
phone. I don't want to do that again. Please.
I know I've done better, much better, but
I was
You
telling
know?
somebody the other day, as the dad, we feed the children right often.
I'm
and
so proud of you for feeding them.
It's something that we do. It's a little different. I don't know if other people do that.
I
feed
feel
their
like we've had
kids.
this exact exchange on the pod.
It's possible.
Like 2 weeks ago.
He will, but
It's
he's going through
possible.
it
But
as
here-
a newborn dad. Just let him.
Basically, what I'm
No, but
trying
you said
to
like
get
the
at.
exact same thing in response.
We're just repeating. If you hear the same thing, go back and listen to it. And
We're literally
You
just
get
clipping
deja
parts.
vu.
We should just clip other episodes into a new
into
episode.
one episode.
Honestly, that'd be pretty
Then we have
dope.
the same
That's
That's
conversation.
thinking
bad.
smarter, not harder, right there.
Wow.
That's actually, I think it would be harder than just sitting down and saying more stupid stuff.
What I was trying to say is
Oh.
that I'm feeding my kids often, and so I've just got like dead time. And so before it was the phone, right? But I've started reading. I think I've mentioned this before.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to say I'm 7 books in to my reading challenge of the year.
Nice.
So
Wow.
I'm
Oh.
also 7 books into my challenge.
Oh, okay. See, there you go. See,
Yeah.
I'm on par. No, I'm not, because my books are like half the size of Reid's books. Reid's reading like giant novels.
No,
And
I'm
reading,
listening
like,
to most
self-help.
of them.
Oh, that's true.
I'm
You
doing a
are
lot
doing
of
that.
audiobook, so
Yeah, I can't get into the audiobook thing. I just don't think it's for me. Like it's cool and nice if you drive a lot, I think, or if you work out a lot, or
You do a lot of stuff,
I don't
like
do that.
a lot of work with your hands.
Yeah,
And-
it's just
Right.
My work is typically like I'm thinking or being pretty creative with my stuff. There's not a lot of just menial tasks I'm doing, and on some level, I kind
wow,
of
look at this man. Everything he does is so
everything I do is meaningful
Not
and
menial.
purposeful. And no, I just
Such energy.
just really he pours himself
God.
into everything.
look. Y'all are feeding this, okay? Yeah, no. And so, but
blowing your ego up.
I'm gonna fly away. But the no. I just
Oh,
I can't.
glory.
It's not even that. It's not even that my tasks are so like important or like uber creative. It's just I can't get to that point where I'm just doing something. Like I can't multitask very well. And so if I'm listening to a podcast, it works the best because it's like you can kind of tune out a conversation and then work your way back in.
100%.
I've said this before on the podcast,
Right.
but
90% of our podcast is tuned out by our
exactly.
listeners.
So thank you for tuning us out.
Put it on repeat over and over.
That's right. Hey, look, that's Spotify numbers. I don't care. Doesn't matter. But anyway, so audiobooks, don't think it's really for me. I've tried it a couple times.
Yeah.
It's just not tough. I don't have a commute either. Like my commute's like a couple minutes, which is nice in, practice, but
Yeah. In a lot of ways it's nice, but just you can't get those audiobooks going. you
can't
know?
get those audiobooks going. Music, I used to listen to music a lot in the car when I would drive. I
Yeah.
would drive to school at U of H, or I would drive to work in Cypress, and it was like, I got a good 30 minutes to just devote to an album, and so I can't really do that anymore either. So anyway, audiobook's not for me, so I'm reading my books the old-fashioned way with my eyeballs.
On his phone.
No,
So the old-fashioned way.
it's on a Kindle.
On a Kindle.
Oh.
It's different. It's
Paper white.
e-ink.
That's at least 2005,
It's
right?
e-ink. Yeah, exactly.
I don't like that term.
That's what they call it.
2005.
Really?
Electronic ink or something.
No, e-ink.
Well, that's what they call the screen technology. I think is e-ink, because it's different than just like a phone screen. It's not like or some of them are backlit, but it's not like blinding light, going into your eyes, and so it's a little better for your eyeballs.
I feel like they just got to come up with a much better term.
I mean, it's too late at this point. You know what I mean?
It's never
2005.
too late.
I mean, we're working on 20 years of Kindle.
Well, it's time to rebrand.
Time to rebrand. E-reading needs a rebrand.
Yep.
So I've been doing a lot of e-reading.
What you got there, Reid?
I've pulled up Efrain's Goodreads account so we can tell everybody what he's been reading this year.
This is so embarrassing.
Do you not want me to do it? I cannot
No,
do
it's
it.
fine. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Exposure.
Let's go for
All right,
it.
let's go with wait, I'm very confused. Oh, what? I'm so confused.
What? Go for it. Let's
Oh,
do it. So
not date added. We want to filter by date read.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is this the most recent book you've read, Living Forward?
Living Forward, the most recent book I've read. Michael
proven
Hyatt and
plan.
Daniel something.
It's called Living Forward, a proven plan to stop drifting and get the life you want.
Yeah, I received it from my pastor,
Nice.
my
How was it?
I think you told me you received this book a long time ago.
Yes, I did.
Okay. You gotta.
So
No,
there's-
but like
Comment
if you look
on
if you look behind you, these are a lot of my books. I've read maybe half of them.
Okay, see, that's good
So
for us all.
I have a lot of
at
books.
home
I haven't read all of these
to
books.
recognize. So see that you can have a library like this and not be the reader that you wish you were.
just
So
look like you
you
are.
can just pretend. Yeah, that's what Reid does.
That's fair. I mean, but a lot of them.
on their wall.
Well, all of those are commentaries.
Yeah,
you don't
yeah.
read those just front cover to cover. It's
I
different.
mean, if you're really holy,
you could.
might.
I have read a
If
commentary.
you really
cover to
love
cover.
God, you could.
If you really love God,
Okay. I have read some of those cover to cover, but
Yeah. Not all
like,
of them.
Like very few of them.
Gotcha.
So
Yeah, so 2 of the books on my list this year I received from my pastor, Zach, years ago. And he was like, hey, read these books. These are really pretty good. I was talking about something. He's like, hey, here's some books. One of them I think is signed by the guy, which is kind of cool.
Oh, nice.
By the author.
That's cool.
And so I have it still. I'm going to return it. But I got them on Kindle from the library because you can use an app called Libby.
Yep.
And you can borrow the books from the library,
What?
but on Kindle or audiobook.
Yeah.
You can do audiobooks too.
I made
That's
a
dope.
mistake yesterday. I was telling my friends about it. I was starting book 9 of this series.
Did they go put a hold on it in front of you?
No.
Oh,
that would be
funny.
really funny.
That would be so
But
funny.
I put a hold on it, and it was like, oh, it'll be a couple of weeks. And I was like, okay, no big deal. And then like the next day, it was like, hey, it's ready. I was like, oh, shoot, okay. So I was like going to start listening to it. Turns out I accidentally put a hold on the ebook version and not the audiobook version.
Dang.
And so I
you
was
got to
like,
read that stuff.
I was like, oh, I returned it. And well, because
I'm not doing that.
because I've got physical books I can read. Like I've got stuff that I can read. I don't need to have that book on my ebook. And then I went and put a hold on the audiobook and it was like, oh, it'll be at least 8 weeks. Golly,
Dang
okay. So.
Just open a book and read it.
So
Well, I usually try to, like for this series, I try to have the physical copy and I'll read sometimes in the physical copy and I'll listen to it other times. And
I
so it's
see.
like helping me progress through the series
You switch
faster.
back and forth, yeah.
So just I don't know if you want to dive into more of my books.
We don't have to.
If you can. If there's anything you see on there that you're like, this is good content, that's fine. That's fine. I'll bear my life for the internet.
I like Steal Like an Artist. I like that title.
Yeah.
Steal Like an Artist. 10 things nobody told you about being creative.
I'm a thief, and so no. It's a really good book. Austin Kleon. He's got 3 of them. So they're like all kind of the same looking.
Right. Yeah. Steal Like an Artist. Show your work and keep going.
Keep going. Yeah.
They were all 10 things nobody told you about being creative, 10 ways to share your creativity and get discovered, and 10 ways to stay creative in good times
very
and bad.
organized. He could be a pastor probably.
He probably is a
probably
pastor.
preach a good message. He's a writer and an artist. He does this art where he will block out newspaper articles and like create poetry with it, so it's
That's
like
pretty
all
dope.
blocked out.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
he was there, oh amen or something, something like that, right?
He gets us.
I don't know if I don't think
gets
I don't
us.
think he's a believer, but maybe. But anyway, he gets us. Sorry, just but the books are very good. They're very simple, but kind of cool. Just hey, do your creativity, go for it. Kind of biblically, he mentions everything. There's nothing new under the sun. Kind
Right.
of thought. Like steal like an artist. Like good artists take what they've gleaned from other people and other art and recreate it in a different way. And then he also said something that was like that super resonated with me when I read it first, was that everything is, or maybe it was a quote from the book, I don't remember, but it was, everything's already been said, but everybody forgot.
Right.
So you have to say it again.
Wow.
And so I was like, dang, that's like a really good thought. Like as just somebody who, even in a podcast, like just doing this,
Yes.
sometimes it feels like, I mean, we're just adding to the noise, it feels like. But at the same time,
I agree.
like,
Switchfoot.
that's good. Good reference. But at the same time, everything's already been said, but people forget so quickly, And so it's like, it's valuable to have your perspective and to have your opinion out there. So good books. Go check them out. Austin Klingon's books. Yeah. So
That's bad.
see, okay, my history isn't so bad right now.
No. You also, I mean,
Nervous for you.
I mean, but
There's no 50 Shades of Grey. Okay?
There's a
Just
clear-
put it out there. It's
no
not on there.
Fight
Okay?
Club.
I know you're waiting for it. It's not.
Hey.
No,
there.
wait, what was it you're reading through? Jaws? No.
No. Okay, wait.
did read
So
Fight Club
last
this
year I read The Summer I Turned Pretty for my wife. I read that
Yeah, you
series
did.
with my wife. So just want everybody to know that.
That's the one where they made a Netflix series, right?
They did. And that's why she was reading them, because
Oh,
she
okay.
wanted to watch the Netflix series, and so she wanted to read the series first.
Book to movie
And
film
so
club.
yeah. So I read, my wife and I are always talking about book to film.
Yeah.
Like we always mention it, but we're not very serious about it.
Yeah.
Although we did both finally finish reading Fight Club this year.
Nice.
We've neither of us
She
have seen
finished
the
it?
movie. Yeah, she did.
Oh, nice.
So we're gonna watch it soon, but
Nice.
not until after we finish watching through Lord of the Rings, because we have tickets on Thursday to see Return of the King
That's this
in theaters.
Thursday?
Yes.
Oh shoot.
Yeah.
I gotta go.
I'll tell you my our seat numbers. so
yeah,
you
I
can-
gotta go. I forgot about
It's
that.
only at Edwards. It's one time.
Yeah,
Thing, so.
I gotta see that. Okay.
So yeah, I think it's the 4K remaster. I don't really like the 4K remaster. It
Yeah.
looks bad.
A lot of people say that.
It looks
Yeah.
bad. I don't like. We started watching the 4K
Nerds.
remaster on HBO, and we stopped, found our DVDs, and watched it on DVD. It's like
Oh my God.
it was like bothering us. Everything's like super fantasy, like hyper contrasted colors and all that stuff. It's like I'm not a fan. Anyway, so yeah, Efrain's got like a clear theme here. He's got like self-help creativity books going on here, right? Your Best Year Ever, Michael Hyatt, right? We talked about the Austin Kleon stuff. We talked about the other Michael Hyatt book, Living Forward.
Yep.
Bob Kauflin, Worship Matters.
Worship Matters. Yeah.
Yeah.
Finished that one. That was another one I was reading with Zach, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was reading through that one. I finally finished it.
Yeah,
so.
you added it to Goodreads on September 11th of 2020.
It's been a while. Yeah, no, I finished it up though. That one's really good too. Actually, that's like of a worship book. If you're gonna sit down and read a worship book, that was a really good one. Yeah. So
And then you also read Biblical Eldership Booklet, which
Yeah,
we all read.
yeah, as a church people talking about
As a
eldership.
church
Is it up here?
people.
It's over here. It's like very tiny.
Yeah,
I
it's
can grab it
tiny
if you
book.
want me to.
No,
If
you
really
don't
want
need
me
to. It was like 50 pages, but I was
Right.
like, hey, I read it.
I
so
put
I'm
it in
putting
mine
on there.
too,
It
Yeah.
adds to the list.
Yeah, I read it.
That's
Okay,
right.
I think I was behind. It was like, yo, you're behind by one book, and so I was like, let's power through this thing.
Are you
Right.
trying to do 12 books in a year?
I'm trying to do 24.
Oh,
so,
that's right.
So I'm
That's
trying to
right.
read 2 books a month because I think I read 1 last year. So like,
You're already
So I've already-
multiplied your stats multiple times.
I'm just really doing it now, and so
Wow.
Yeah. So I set a
awesome.
challenge this year. Last year, my challenge was just to read 30 books, and I read 32, I think. I know, big overachiever. Yeah.
whoa.
Hi, I'm Reid, and I read a lot.
I read a lot of books.
I listen to a lot of audiobooks too. So
Cheating? No, I'm kidding.
no, I don't believe so.
enjoy reading. I just read so much at work. Like I'm reading curriculum. I'm reading reviews. I feel like I'm
reading emails.
I'm
reading
using my eyeballs too
freaking
much.
emails all the time. That like when I get home, I just want to like dissociate and just kind of zone out and not like I don't want to read anything.
Yeah.
Well, you know
So
what,
I'll
Liz?
watch a lot of TV.
A lot of-
unfortunately.
You know what, Liz? Leaders are readers.
I
And
know
so-
leaders are readers.
got it.
Not all readers are leaders, but all leaders are readers.
Yeah, say that 20 more times.
Yeah, that's hard to say the one time.
Oh, Efrain, actually, your challenge is at 25. You have a challenge of 25.
It's at 25.
Yeah, you're at 7 of 25.
All right, whatever.
Keep going.
It just like Nah, he could do more.
Just
You
add
did
it.
this many?
Nah,
I'm
he
gonna
can
bump it up.
Let's bump that up. Those are rookie numbers.
So yeah, last year I did 30, 32 or something like that. This year I was like, oh, my friend Andrew, he also did 30 last year and he bumped his challenge to 40 this year. And I was
Oh
like,
my
okay, I'm going to
gosh.
bump my challenge to 40. I'm 3 books behind schedule right now.
You should
like
do
struggling.
it at 41.
Yeah. To just one up him.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. But the thing is, you were saying you don't want to like be focused in like reading and learning and stuff when you get home from work. Like you're just tired. Most of the books I'm reading are fiction. They're not like
I see you.
I'm
Yeah.
not reading like 10 ways to be more creative and better at your job and have a better life. I'm
Reading
disappearing
Fight Club.
into a fantasy land,
Uh-huh.
like
I get that. Yeah.
I am dissociating. I'm escaping.
exactly. That's
It's
exactly
just
what's
in
happening.
words. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I used to be a huge fiction reader. Like as a kid, like I read a ton of just fiction books, and fantasy, whatever.
Right.
And then I started doing creative stuff, and so that's something like I want to bolster. But yeah, I've got that strong itch to dissociate from reality, and because those like that Living Forward, the Michael Hyatt books, were both like your life, like do your do good stuff, like you can do stuff and whatever. And it's like, okay, this is cool, but it's good, but
Yeah.
also
Speaking of escaping, it just like threw me back to like escaping through like books. In 2008 when we had Hurricane Ike come in and
Yeah,
really shut down Houston for a while. I had was just given the Twilight series, but just like the first book, or no, the first 2 books, and then Hurricane. And I was like, well, I guess it's time to read it because literally stuck in a house, nothing works. And I mean, poor writing, but like some thick books.
Yeah.
And I mean, I ate those 2 books up like in
the first 2.
in a day, and then
Were the other 2 not out, or
I think at that time they were just gonna drop, or Breaking Dawn, the last one had just dropped. And so I remember anytime like we would venture out into the wild, like into any store, like a Walgreens,
was
like
there.
I was like, I need to find the books. I need,
You're
like
looking
as
for
a
it, right?
like a senior in high school, like I need to find the books, and I found all of them during Ike, and I for like I think the next 4 days I read all of them, and then it just like because I needed to escape because I was stuck in a house with no power and my parents.
I think we've mentioned this before that the 2 of us have also read that series.
Yes.
Right.
The 2 of us is Reid and Efrain.
myself.
Yeah.
Yep. I did read it.
Sorry. Yeah.
No need to rehash that though.
No need to go into that.
Let's do a book club.
It's fine. Let's do a book club.
I'm already in a book
Yeah.
club with my
All right,
wife.
Let's
guys.
reread
My next
the
book.
Twilight.
Oh, just for Twilight? Oh gosh.
Just these young adults here.
I'm
No,
just
thank
gonna
you.
start annotating with corrections and stuff.
I will say I never want to read a book series as it's coming out ever again. I did that
Really?
with Aragon. I never want to do it again
Really?
because
I
it
love
takes
that.
forever.
Yeah.
Like
The
I
waiting,
really want to read Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
I do not want to start Game of Thrones until he either finishes the series or he dies.
God.
Because then it's over. Then
because
it's fine,
because
yeah.
well
Then
then
nothing
I
else.
think the fandom of Game of Thrones should just have
Well-
someone write a fan fiction and then declare it the ending.
This is the one.
right?
No,
Like,
there's
this
a
is the
guy
ending.
I'm pretty sure that works closely with George R. R. Martin.
Yeah.
R. Martin, and and I'm pretty sure he's got like the stuff. So like in the case that he does die, I
Right.
think he's supposed to be
Well,
like
George
step
is like in
and
his
finish.
70s and he's not in good health. Like he's not a healthy dude. So
Yeah.
some
So I feel like
vegetables.
I feel like most writers aren't that bad, or at least as bad as George
about
Like
writing.
health-
R. R.
Health-wise?
Martin. No,
Or-
as far
or
as like
releasing.
releasing.
Oh, I
Yeah,
see.
because like it's been like 20 years or something since the last book, or
I think
15,
12 maybe.
12, some crazy number of years since the last book, and he said that the next book isn't the last one.
No, there's
I think
probably
there's
2
like
more.
2 more.
I
Homie, you
think
ain't
the
got
next
much
one's supposed to be
time
called A
left.
Song of Spring.
Did the Winds of Winter already come out? That one already released?
Wait, maybe Winds of Winter is the
I think it's
next
Winds
one.
of Winter, and then Song of Spring is supposed to be the last one. So I haven't read those either, and I'm with that one. To
Yeah.
me, it's an exception because I don't want to read that series if it doesn't go anywhere. And I mean, that's kind of how the show went. So
I was gonna ask, do you think they're gonna redo, like they're gonna re-release more episodes when more books come out?
I hope so.
No, they're not going to redo it.
No, it's
Well,
not
not
gonna
maybe not
happen.
like redo, but like restart and do more.
Ugh, please stop. Oh, that
Another
brings me
reboot?
to another topic. Okay, let me put a pin in that I was about to go to.
Here he
We're
goes.
all
when
over
he
the place.
when he gets riled up, he gets real close to the mic and he gets
there
up. He gets loud.
There he goes. He's staring at the camera.
So the last book he published, A Dance with Dragons, July 12th, 2011. And so it's now
Jeez.
12 years later. He still has not put out the next book, which is supposed to be Winds of Winter, followed by the final volume, A Dream of Spring.
A Dream of Spring.
Maybe
Yeah.
he'll just pull a Taylor Swift and just like surprise and drop both of them.
Yeah. Folklore Evermore, just back to back
Yeah.
kind of situation. That
Yeah.
could be tight.
That would be cool. If
Maybe
he was
George is
secretly
a-
doing that the whole time, that would be so cool,
That would
but
be sweet.
probably not. Where I just lost my train of thought. Oh no. Okay. So speaking of him dying and someone finishing, the series I'm reading right now, The Wheel of Time, was written by Robert Jordan. He died before it was over, and he knew he wasn't going to finish it, and so he wrote a bunch of extensive notes about how the series was going to conclude. Gave those notes to
This is very biblical.
another
It feels like-
another
Yeah.
writer.
It's like, whoa. I am
Moses
passing on, but
passing the torch to
here's the-
Joshua,
yeah,
Paul
exactly.
to the churches.
Brandon Sanderson,
Oh,
who's
yeah,
another very
okay.
prolific fantasy writer. Brandon
Okay.
Sanderson finished the series for Robert Jordan.
Cool.
So he died before it finished, but he passed all the work on to someone else who finished it. And fans are pretty much they're happy with the way it ended for the most part. So
Nice.
Wow.
So, yeah.
So why? So you're content with that for you? That's fine. With
I mean, it's different. I mean, the series is finished.
you?
So I can just read it at my pace and finish the series. I don't have to wait for it. And he couldn't help himself dying.
So yeah, right.
You
So
know?
your thing is you don't want to do Game of
I'm
Thrones.
not gonna make a joke.
Right. Well, because in high school I was reading the Inheritance Cycle, which is written by Christopher Paolini,
Yeah.
Aragon, eldest Brizinger in Inheritance.
Inheritance. Right?
And I was reading it, and it was several years between each book. So I would finish one, and it's and the next one's coming out. Who knows when?
Well, you also got to remember that you were in high school,
Right.
And so it was only a couple years between the books, And so it felt like a long time.
No.
but it-
I think I started in middle school, and I
Oh,
finished
right.
in college.
Right. Yeah.
So
right.
it was actually 2 years between each book.
So it's a third of your life, at that point was
Right.
reading this series,
Yeah.
But in
Well,
the
that's
grand
another
scheme.
that's another topic is the relativity of time, right? As you get older, time feels like it's faster.
yeah.
My brain really just can't wrap around. Listen, I've mentioned this a couple times. I am weaning myself off of being so caffeinated. When I'm stressed, especially leading up to the busiest season, for work, this is what we're leading up to. I form an eye twitch, and it doesn't stop until August.
And it's stress
From the
induced?
stress.
It's stress induced, but then I'm
Wow.
also heavily caffeinated.
Yeah.
Like a chain smoker, just coffee, soda, coffee. There's no time for water because I'm
Jeez.
just full of caffeine.
I'm ramping up my caffeine intake. I'm try-
God. Well, I only drink when I'm getting ready in the morning. Whatever coffee I drink in that time, that's it. I don't have anything else.
So you have a cup in the morning when you get
I have a
ready.
cup in the morning. Even if I don't finish that whole cup, when I leave, that's it. And then but I'm drinking
That's gross.
a ton of
Terrible.
water. And I'll add little flavor packets and stuff to kind of change up the.
Like a pepper packet.
Okay.
Some Parmesan.
Some red pepper flakes. I'm so dumb.
So the other thing I was going to bring up earlier.
Wait, hold on. Wait, hold on. Yeah, everybody's so done with that. They're like, nah, just move on. No, what were you were getting at? You
Yes.
developed a twitch.
Yes. So, it started to come, and then that's what caused me to no, I can't do this again this year. So it's gone away, but my brain is not braining in the way it needs to brain. And I had to teach a class on Tuesday to several adults, and I just multiple times I had to stop, and I was like, I'm so sorry.
I don't know what I was saying.
I don't know what the heck I'm saying. I'm so sorry. I'm supposed to be the one giving the information, and
What a teacher.
my brain and mouth are not talking to each
Sometimes
other.
it's just that way.
It just
be
be
that
that
way.
way. I had to say the word epigenetics,
Mm-hmm.
and it could not come out. I was like,
Look at
epic.
the screen.
Look at that.
Yeah.
All right,
nice.
done.
Yes.
Dang.
So,
Tough.
there has been a series greenlit by HBO. Are you guys aware of this? Brand new.
You haven't expressed what it is.
I'm wondering if you guys have heard because I haven't heard from either of you, and I expected outrage about this. So,
okay, go ahead.
Oh my God.
Continue.
Yes.
Might not
So
have heard.
I think it was dropped on the same day that they announced that they're going to make a live action remake of Moana.
Oh,
Right.
I heard about that.
Yes.
Who's making that?
Disney's
Like
making
Disney?
a live action remake of Moana. 10 years. It's not even 10 years old.
Can they
It's like
stop?
6 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why?
Anyway, Dwayne Johnson will be starring as
And what's her
Maui.
name? I can't think of her name. The Moana, the girl who played Moana, is also going to be Moana. That's
Right.
kind of cool. That's like
Oh.
to me, if you're going to remake something like that from animation to live action,
Get the people.
that's kind of the way to do it. Like that seems cool.
That makes
She's
sense.
Hawaiian, and so it's a Hawaiian name, and so
Yeah.
even if I did remember it, I'd probably mess it
And
up.
Dwayne is just tan.
well, he's Samoan.
Yeah, he's.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, that dude's Samoan, man. That's Samoan.
Oh,
He was in Dwayne. Hey, man, big fan.
We'd love
Big
to have
fan.
you on the pod.
DJ, Mr. The Rock. We apologize for anything said here on the podcast. We're looking forward to Moana the remake, despite anything we may say here right now. Okay, continue.
I'm going to try to say her name
Okay.
Why?
Okay.
After that?
because we've said that girl, like
She was great.
let's put her name out there. Right?
Okay, let's put her name out there.
I think it's Aulil Cravalho.
I think you're missing a glottal stop.
Okay.
So which is where this is very common in Hawaiian
Yeah.
language and in
How do you
there's
pronounce-
that apostrophe
Yeah.
is a glottal stop there.
Okay,
but
so say it for me.
I don't know how to say it.
Okay.
Then don't bring it up.
It's like I think it's Auli'i.
No, that's an L. I'm pretty sure.
I don't think so, dude. Oh,
I
is it
see-
an L?
I really struggled with that when I was. It's an I because down here on IMDb
See?
it's Auli'i. Yeah.
Auli'i. Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's how it is.
Okay.
Yes.
I was really struggling
She's
with
great.
whether or not that was an I,
I think
or
we
an
did
L.
okay. I think we did okay. Let us know. Somebody
Yeah.
look it up and let us know how we did.
Oh, Alan Tudyk is gonna. He played Hey Hey.
Yeah, he's the chicken.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's
Anyway,
the chicken is he going to be the live
In a
action
big,
chicken too?
in a big chicken suit.
Andy Serkis style. They just shrink all of the animation to be smaller.
Gee whiz.
That would be horrible.
Yeah. So that the glottal stop is that like that stop
Yeah,
in your
yeah.
like there. But we do it in English a lot too. But like when we say like when you use a T at the end of a word, there I kind of did it there instead of enunciating word with the
Yeah.
D, I said word, and so like
Word.
I kind of like stopped the
Right.
like sound in my throat is what it's kind of.
A
It's
glottal
kind of cool.
stop.
I learned about this a while back. Thanks for joining us on that little journey.
So the real topic
Journey.
that I was bringing up is that they have greenlit a seven season
Oh,
remake
right.
of Harry Potter, where
Okay.
each season
I got you now.
will follow a book.
I got you now. Yeah, I
I
did
did not
hear
know
about
this.
that.
The
Yeah, I
movies
hear
did
about
release 20 years ago.
the first one.
The first one released 20 years ago.
When was the last one? 2012, I
Great
think.
question. What is that called? Deathly Hallows Part 2?
Yeah, I think it was 2012. So I guess 10 years ago, 11 years ago.
It released in 2011.
Oh, see, wow,
12 years.
12 years ago.
Who's in the series?
They just greenlit it, so I don't. It's not
Oh,
cast
okay,
or
okay.
Anybody really attached to it yet. I don't think. I did hear about this. Liz? What's your take on it?
This is the literal first time I've heard about it.
Okay,
About Moana.
First impressions.
Moana
on it.
and Harry Potter.
Dang.
Where you been?
Dang, girl,
Living
get out
under
there.
a rock.
Struggling.
She's
Patrick
like, no
Star over
caffeine.
here. She's like, who are you people?
Just fit in a hole. The Moana thing, I'm a little over Disney going with just live action now instead of like giving us new content. But I'm not Disney, so yes, I'm gonna watch it. Whatever.
I'm not Disney, so I'll watch their stuff. What does that mean?
I'm not.
No,
them,
like I'm
so
not
I'll-
making the call. Like
Right.
if people love the live action, then all
But
right.
I don't think most people do.
I don't think so either. I don't know why.
I think
They-
Cinderella
the
did
problem
well.
is- The problem is it makes a lot of money.
Yeah.
They're generally not loved critically or even by the fans.
right,
But
People
they
still go see
print
them.
money. Yeah.
Yeah.
right. So I mean, I will watch it because I really enjoyed Moana, and I'm interested how they're gonna do all of that. You know, like I watched which it's called live action Lion King, but it's not. It's just
fake,
better.
yeah.
It's just better.
It's better animation. Yeah.
Animation, yeah.
It's
Now the live action Cinderella, the Cinderella 2015, by far my favorite.
that's what I've heard. Is that the
Just
Cinderella's pretty
under the
good.
Brandy and Whitney Houston Cinderella.
Wow.
I've also
Wow.
heard the Jungle Book is pretty good because it's like kind of a different story. Because I
Yeah.
mean, there's not a lot to the Jungle Book story, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And so they kind of made it different. I still haven't seen it myself. I have the only live action, or I guess I've watched a couple. Was Beauty and the Beast and
Yeah, it was good.
Aladdin. I think were the only two.
That one was kind of intense.
Aladdin was just okay. I just don't. Yeah, they're just not very good. Like, and you watch them and you go, okay. But then if you were to ever want to watch that movie again, you just want to watch the animated one. Like,
It's
right.
not like rewatchable.
right.
It's just like for the memes. Like you just did
Right.
that
Wait.
one time.
It's just for the memes.
The
No,
memories.
the memories, yeah, not the memes. But the
Oh,
it's yeah.
that makes more sense.
Even watching the movie kind of feels that way. Like you're watching it and you're like, I kind of just want to watch that scene
Right.
from the cartoon
original.
because they did it worse here. You know, usually.
Yeah.
Usually is
Yeah.
how it goes. So
Guys, holy moly.
Oh, what?
I was like, let me go to IMDb and just sort from like last released from Disney, like most recently released, and we could like go through and be like, oh, you know, these are the live action ones. We could talk about it, you know, whether they were like see what the ratings were. Wow, they have so many things. Like oh gosh, okay,
Planned?
so many things announced. The first 192 items on their list are
Announced.
announced, pre-production, or completed but not released. 192 things. Holy moly!
they working.
the
Work it,
last,
girl.
yeah, the last one,
Slay.
the last one that's actually been released apparently was Prom Pact.
Huh?
Yeah, Prom Pact. It's a comedy family romance.
Go ahead and give it a no.
Maybe a Disney Channel.
Follows the main
movie? I
character,
don't know.
a feminist who doesn't believe in the idea of falling in love, especially in heteronormative love, but then falls and there's
Wow.
undeniable chemistry.
Okay, all right.
And then you
That
got
was a
Chang
lot.
Yeah, that
Can
was a lot.
Dunk. And
Chang can dunk.
I
right.
feel like you're really riding a line.
Yeah,
that-
and you're just naming titles here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A young Asian American teen and basketball fanatic who just wants to dunk and get the girl ends up learning much more about himself, his best friends, and his mother.
Got to be a Disney Channel for sure. That sounds like a Disney Channel.
It
movie.
doesn't
It sounds
say-
like a pretty good one. Not gonna lie to you.
Prom Pact. Let me look at Prom Pact.
Look
Get
at
it,
the
Chang.
Irish. Come on.
It's an
Yeah.
original movie.
That sounds
Disney.
like-
It doesn't say it's Disney Plus.
Oh,
I think
yeah,
it's
so
straight to Disney Plus.
Oh,
I don't think they do Disney or Channel original movies
You're
anymore.
lying.
It's Disney Plus.
Chang
movies.
Can Dunk is straight to Disney Plus. It looks like
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
the last
An
big
era.
release.
The era,
is
the end of an
gone.
era.
Wow.
Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania is I think the last movie
Movie.
that came out that went to the big screen for
Gotcha.
Disney.
Yeah.
So
And it was fun.
192 things they have in the works.
God. That's
ready.
insane. The one I am,
Hope you got a lot of money.
the live action I am excited about is the live action Little Mermaid.
Are
I was
you-
afraid you were going to say Hercules because I'm not happy about that at all.
Oh, they're doing live action Hercules.
Yeah.
Oh no.
That's a reel right there. That's
There's
a clip.
no way that's gonna be good. There's no way.
They already
The
made
hurt in your
Hercules
eyes.
live action with The Rock, and it was bad.
Did you watch it?
I watched it on an airplane.
But it wasn't like
it was an airplane movie.
But it wasn't like Disney Hercules, right?
I don't think so.
Yeah,
That's
so it
like
was
a
different.
pretty low tier movie if it's an airplane movie.
I will say I saw the Lego movie on an airplane, and it kind of was perfect. So, because it was like a small screen, Legos, you know, it was like it worked.
Oh, it was a
You
Paramount
felt
movie.
like a Lego.
I felt like a Lego, you know.
It's like
yeah.
an insult. You're just a Lego.
I watched
Just a Lego.
Dune on the airplane.
Yeah, that seems
That's
wrong.
not a Dune. That's not an
Nah, that
airplane
sounds
movie. I was
wrong.
just behind, and I was like, well, I guess I'll watch this. So-
If one thing that if I were rich, like the biggest thing that I really want is a movie
airplane.
theater.
Oh,
Is an airplane. No, a movie theater in my
thought you
own
was gonna
home.
say
No,
airplane.
not an airplane. It's a movie theater in my home.
Yeah.
I want to be like I love going to the movies, but then you get movies get out of the movies and you can't watch the movie anymore at
In the movies,
at
yeah.
the movie theater. You know. And so I want to be able to have the same experience of the movie theater at my home. I want it to be freaking loud and to hurt my eardrums, and I want the screen to be enormous so I can watch The Little Mermaid.
Yeah.
No, I'm just. But like
live action Little
to
Mermaid.
watch Dune, to watch those kinds of like epic movies.
The way they were intended.
The way
to be
they were
watched.
intended.
Here's what's gonna happen. You're just gonna have old Astros World Series games.
That's fine
on
too.
the
That's
screen
awesome though. That
constantly.
would be awesome.
That would be so awesome.
That's all that's gonna happen.
You know what? I'm gonna rent out a movie theater for the World Series this year.
That's not a bad idea.
Can you do? Is that possible?
I don't know. Probably not.
Dude,
Yeah.
I bet people would do it.
There's probably some
Let's
sort
find
of
out.
streaming issue
find out.
with.
Oh,
you
that's
can't stream
probably
it to a
true.
bunch of people at the same time.
That's
Yeah.
probably true, actually.
So
Okay.
that's something I was very upset about with VR. Like I got like a VR
Yes.
and I was like, oh, it's gonna be so cool to watch movies. Like I can just put it on and the screen, it'll cover my whole screen. But like VR just won't let you work it that way. It won't. It's
a
like
little
you got it's like it makes you lock it to an area in your room. It's like I don't want my VR while I'm watching a movie to be locked to some like spatial thing. I just want it to be like, hey, I've now put a screen literally on top of my eyeballs. You know?
I mean, that's
It's
literally
just your
what it is.
phone
It's a screen
right
in
there,
room.
yeah.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what I want, but you can't do that with VR right now. And you can even get the VR where you have the like noise canceling headphones, so it's like it's like
Super
being in an
immersive.
IMAX by yourself, you know.
But the idea is that they want you to pretend that you're sitting in a theater.
which I don't want.
Right.
I don't want that.
Right. Well, yeah, because
It's like when Netflix like 10 years ago had like you can watch Netflix with your friends and you have the
Yeah,
screen
right.
and your little avatars sitting there watching in a theater.
Mm-hmm.
That was really used to do that a lot in high school.
That's
just for
funny.
fun. But
It got real popular again during quarantine.
Yeah.
Everyone did it.
yeah.
Real quick, let's finalize this podcast with our thoughts on the Harry Potter remake.
Oh yeah.
Real quick, just to finish that out. What are your thoughts, Liz?
I think it's gonna be well made,
Okay.
effects wise,
Okay.
acting probably decent,
Okay. Yeah.
but I think overall it's gonna be a dud.
Yeah. Okay. Reid, your
I'm
thoughts?
out. I'm out on it.
I'm out.
I don't want to watch it at
And
all.
for that reason, I'm out.
HBO, yeah,
It's HBO who's doing it?
yeah, HBO. I mean, they've got all the source material, right? But I
Yeah.
can't help but think that they're going to change a lot of things and like politicize like all of it.
Yeah, I could see a lot of that.
It's going to be ultra politicized.
I think there's going to be a lot of that because obviously there's a lot of backlash around J.K. Rowling and
Right.
her thoughts. So I think there's a lot of politicization that's going to be happening
It's a good word.
on the show. I think that's very possible. For me as a book fan, a fan of the books, there's like a level of I'm kind of excited because like season long takes on the books would be good. So then you can kind of
get a lot more action.
a lot more like elements of the books, and that's
Right.
that's inherent in a big book like that to miss stuff in the live action movie. And so like you can get some cool stuff, but at the same time, there's a lot of stuff in the books that's just not as compelling as what they ended up putting on the screen. To be honest with you, like
Right.
some of it is good, and some of it's missing context in here and there, right in the movies, but some of it is just fluff. Some of it's just unnecessary. Like there's extra story, but you don't
Right.
really need it.
like
you
sitting
know?
in potions class.
Yeah, just the different little things, and like it's good as a book, but I don't see it being that compelling in a
For a whole
TV show.
season.
Yeah, for a TV show. Like again, you're reading the book and you're kind of like living the life, but the
So-
TV show, like it's got to have narrative like structure driving it, and
Right.
and and there's narrative structure in the book, obviously, but I don't know.
So essentially, one book is going to have its own season.
Yep.
I just think with shows, you need to have like an A storyline and like a B storyline, and sometimes like a little side like C storyline going on. And that's not the focus of Harry Potter.
That's not how the books
I
come.
You
think
know,
the books
like-
do have that.
Not
Well,
as
but-
much,
but, like, the
well, they
whole-
do kind of.
You always got Hermione run around doing some social justice.
That's a good
stuff, you
point.
know?
Yeah,
Correct,
she does.
but that's
yeah.
all throughout. Like it is that woven into the entire book, where like you've got to really hit some good momentum in a TV show to get people hooked.
Right.
And so I don't know. I feel like there's just going to be a lot added to it that it's just going to take away from
Yeah.
the real.
Yeah.
The real.
Overall, I mean, I'll probably watch it just to see. Just I
And
probably
that's
will.
the problem with America.
It probably won't start they probably won't start airing it for like another 4 years.
At least, probably even longer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's nuts
'Cause
to think about.
The
It just
production
got
takes forever.
greenlit. Excuse me.
I mean, man, for me, one of the biggest things is like those actors are the characters. Like if they remade
Yeah.
The Lord of the Rings today, like could I watch that? Because Aragorn is Viggo Mortensen, you
Right.
know, like, or Viggo Mortensen is Aragorn. Like there's
Right.
that's who it is. Like, can somebody do that better?
When somebody's done something so well, so with Harry Potter, with Lord of the Rings, like, sure, there's shortcomings for people in different ways, but like, they were done so well, both of them. I think at a pretty high level. I think Lord of the Rings beats it out, obviously, because it's just better. But Harry Potter done at a very high level. Don't mess with that. Like, don't do that. Don't do that. That's my take.
Yeah.
So that's all I got for you guys. Thanks for joining us on the podcast today.
Creativity in Hollywood's dead.
Yeah, exactly.
Go read a book. Light note.
Go read a book today.